I can't believe this was allowed to happen. Ronda Rousey is all talk. She acts like she's been this badass fighter who's tougher than anyone, but she needs to resort to backstage politics to beat a 90-pound gymnast with no MMA experience. This isn't over. Rousey is bad for this title, she's bad for this company, and she's bad for this sport.
Well, we begin part 3 with the final tag match of the GAW Christmas Party, and coming out is Pete Dunne, a rarity in this competition. Pete Dunne has both extensive singles and tag team experience, as well as extensive experience in this competition. Pete Dunne was partnered with Drew McIntyre in the first iteration of this competition. McIntyre went on to win the whole thing. That was back in 2015 at the first ever Winterfest. Pete Dunne has since gone on to hold tag team gold with Drew McIntyre, and he fought for the Intercontinental Championship at GAW Cyclone Denver. This man has to be considered one of the favorites, one of the most dangerous men in this competition because of his experience, and he's looking to prove it. And joining Pete Dunne is TNA legend Suicide, who joined Dunne in a tag team match in the go-home show to GAW Cyclone Denver. This team won, and Suicide went on to fight for the Cruiserweight Championship. Both men lost their title shots. Both men lost in controversial circumstances. We still have not figured out what exactly it was that Buddy Murphy did to Suicide in that match. But these men certainly have experience together as a team because of that tag match that they fought in for #1 contendership. Let's see if they can parlay that into a win in today's Christmas Party. You want to talk about a win, though? That is much easier said than done, as Kazuchika Okada makes his way to the ring. Okada, one of the legends of Japanese wrestling and a legend in GAW. He is our company's first ever foreign-born champion. This guy is absolutely incredible. He is one of the best wrestlers that has ever lived. Imagine if Kazuchika Okada is the one who earns world title #1 contendership. Yes, folks, for the first time ever, 2 living legends will team in the GAW Christmas Party. We welcome back the legendary Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is the longest tenured champion ever in GAW. He has spent more than 3 years as a champion of some kind or other in GAW. He is just an he is a tag team title short of the Golden Ring, an accomplishment that only Kenny Omega has earned in his career. Rey Mysterio has done it all in GAW except win the Christmas Party. Well, now he has the chance to do just that. He was the first ever winner of the Rumble on the Beach, so he is no stranger to events like these. Rey Mysterio is beloved. He is the greatest cruiserweight champion of all time. He is the longest tenured champion. He has also enjoyed the most championship reigns ever. And Pete Dunne, bitter ending onto Kazuchika Okada. Is he going to... Oh, Okada kicks out. You're not going to put away the legendary Japanese champion like that. Big boot from Okada. I would love to see a match between these two men in any circumstance. Really, any four of these men out here. Rey Mysterio versus Suicide has to be one of those all-time dream match scenarios. Pete Dunne drops Okada with that brutal teardrop suplex. And Dunne, again, looking to put the Japanese champion away with a bitter ending. Dunne could have Okada in trouble, and Okada kicks out. You're going to need to do more than that to put away this guy. There's no doubt about that. The last time we saw Okada in a GAW ring, it was part of the special New Japan Pro Wrestling Showcase back at Bash at the Beach. We saw him defend the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Zack Sabre Jr., and we are very proud to announce that Jon Moxley will be the next challenger to the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Okada now, Rainmaker onto Pete Dunne. A vicious Rainmaker onto Dunne. Showing the Bruiserweight exactly who he is dealing with. Okada hooks the far leg to make the pin, and Suicide is there to break it up. Rey Mysterio had gone to try to dive in the way, and Mysterio now working on Suicide. Look at this, Mysterio with a sunset flip bomb. Suicide uses that very move, and very effectively, I might add. And now Okada and Mysterio teaming up against Pete Dunne. The two legends showing the two younger guys what's up right now. Pete Dunne trying to bring this back more to his style as he's dealing with Okada on the outside, but Okada not going to have that. One thing that does not get talked about enough with Kazuchika Okada, and understandably so because of all of his other incredible skills, this guy has some tremendous size for his athleticism. He is by far the biggest man in this match. Okada measures in at 6'4", weighs in at 270 pounds. I mean, this is a big dude for as well as he moves and as much wrestling skill as he possesses. And of course, it's interesting to see him teaming up with one of the great small men in the history of wrestling. Rey Mysterio has never let size get to him. Both of these men, Mysterio and Okada, have held GAW World Championship gold. Mysterio held the GAW Cruiserweight Championship for a record 7 times. He is synonymous with the Cruiserweight belt. Dunne goes for the Enziguri, and Okada out of the way. Mysterio is synonymous with the Cruiserweight Championship. Okada is synonymous with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. These two guys are legends in their own rights. Look at that combination from Okada. The strikes from the Japanese champion, but Pete Dunne, nice tiger suplex. Okada didn't even feel it. Unbelievable. The Japanese champ showing you exactly why he is talked about as being one of the greats of all time. DDT onto Pete Dunne. We've said it in each episode, so we might as well say it now. The ground may be painted as if it were a snowy wonderland, but it certainly does not feel like that. Okada rolls back into the ring as the referee making his count. 15, Okada tags in Mysterio. In the Christmas party, we actually give competitors 20 seconds on the outside. It's the only time that we do that in GAW. Pete Dunne has Mysterio in trouble. Beautiful exploder suplex. Dunne now working over the fingers of Mysterio. Dunne is, of course, a master joint manipulator. Big kick from Mysterio. Nice arm drag onto the master of the 619. Mysterio face buster onto Dunne. And Rey now going up into his own corner. Rey from the top rope. Rey with the frog splash, and Pete Dunne got the knees up. The frog splash, a tribute to the late Eddie Guerrero. And Mysterio ducks underneath. Mysterio, nice Hurricane Rana onto Dunne. The athleticism of Rey Mysterio on show right now. I would love to see Suicide get tagged in with Mysterio in there as well. We'll see if that can happen. Mysterio now has Dunne into the snapmare, and Mysterio drop kick. Mysterio has won every singles championship that GAW has to offer. 7-time Cruiserweight champion. A single reign as heavyweight champion. 2-time Intercontinental champion. Rey Mysterio's done it all. And now Dunne. Clothesline to Mysterio in the corner, but Rey able to fight out of it. Spinning kick ducked by Dunne, but Mysterio turns it into a Hurricane Rana. And Mysterio now could have Dunne in trouble once again. Mysterio goes up top. Rey. Dunne makes it to his feet, but Rey going for the seated senton, and Dunne turns it into a power bomb. Brutal power bomb against the ropes. Dunne avoided the seated senton and then avoids the drop kick. Mysterio now tags in Okada. You got to think if you're Dunne, you got to get the hell out of there. Okada has beaten the absolute tar out of you this whole time, and Okada with the rolling lariat. Look at this, Kazuchika Okada has the arm trapped of Dunne and a massive strike. Pete Dunne's got to get out of this match right now. He could be in serious trouble. Okada's been letting him have it this whole time after the 2 bitter endings, and now a Rainmaker from Okada. Dunne hit the deck hard. I think Dunne is out. I think he is out. Okada hooks the far leg. Rey Mysterio intercepts Suicide, and Kazuchika Okada has won it for these 2 legends. Okada is a legend of the sport, a legend in GAW, and he just planted Pete Dunne with a legendary Rainmaker. I don't know if Dunne will ever stand right again. Rey Mysterio softened Dunne up, although Dunne did well to avoid the frog splash as well as this seated senton that Rey was going for. So well done by Pete Dunne, but Okada laid him out with that rolling lariat and then put him away with a gigantic Rainmaker. And Kazuchika Okada and Rey Mysterio are headed to the elimination match. This, man, if you are the other 4 men in that match, if you are Hanson and YSP, if you are Cody Rhodes and Kofi Kingston, you got to be worried because these 2 legends are coming for you, and they are out for blood right now. What a match from these 2. Up next, Rey Mysterio is a legend of the Cruiserweight division. It's time for Will Ospreay to stamp his name in the record books as he goes to unify the Cruiserweight title with the Intercontinental title. What a match we have coming up next.
For too long, Cruiserweights have been looked down on. We've been disrespected and put to the side. I will unify the Cruiserweight title with the Intercontinental title.
To win the Cruiserweight Championship, Ospreay has done it. He has to. Ospreay, unbelievable. He is going to Winterfest.
Will knows better than anyone how little Cruiserweights are respected anymore, and he deserves respect more than anyone. Will and I have battled so many times throughout the years. There isn't a guy I want to beat more than him, but there isn't a guy I would trust to move this division forward more than him. I came to this company as a cruiserweight and was shocked by the way the guys were treated. It was like Cruiserweights were a different company altogether. My first night in the company, Will came up to me. He took the time to walk me through the back and help me adjust to the big leagues. He knew even among other wrestlers, Cruiserweights aren't given the time of day, and all he's wanted to do is change that. Will Ospreay has probably the biggest chip on his shoulder in the company because he is a world-class wrestler who's been held down because of his weight. Will deserves all the title opportunities in the world, and this can only help him, and it can only help us as Cruiserweights. Will Ospreay is a legend of this division and a legend of this company. It's time to change the way the world thinks about cruiserweights, and Will is the most committed, the most passionate, and the most capable man I know who can bring that change. Good luck to you, Will. We're all proud of you.
To the ring, and look at this, Ospreay with a little throwback to Spider-Man. Gotta love this attire here from the Aerial Assassin. Ospreay has said that he is done with the disrespect to cruiserweights, the only weight class in wrestling that needs his own title belt, and he is going to change that. He says if he does not beat Matt Hardy here, he will vacate the Cruiserweight Championship and he will never fight for it again. What an ultimatum that Ospreay has set on himself. But that just shows you how confident he is that it's time for cruiserweights to show what they have against all the rest of the wrestlers in the company. And you know what? I gotta agree with him. Ospreay is more than deserving of being the man to do this.
We are Alpha.
But of course, as we know, Will Ospreay is not the only, or Matt Hardy is not the only man that Ospreay will have to contend with in this match. Zeta comes out to lead Ricochet, and finally the Intercontinental Champion, Matt Hardy. It's not just Will Ospreay versus Matt Hardy. It is Ospreay versus Hardy versus Zeta versus Ricochet. Alpha is a collective, it is a team, and it is a dangerous team at that. Hopefully Ospreay does not have to learn that the hard way and be prevented from ever challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship again. I hope that Ospreay can overcome here against Matt Hardy to unify these two titles. I would love to see it done. I think it is time for cruiserweights to finally break out of the stigma of having a different weight class. I think it is time for cruiserweights to finally show that they can compete with the rest of the wrestlers in GAW. I know they can, and Ospreay is about to show it right here against Matt Hardy. It is unification time. Cruiserweight Championship and Intercontinental Championship. This will be one of Ospreay's toughest tests yet, but certainly Ospreay is more than up to the challenge. We saw him defeat Buddy Murphy in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the Cruiserweight Championship, and he then went on to win a four-way elimination match in which he made 2 eliminations to earn this championship opportunity. Ospreay is as motivated now as he has ever been, and you can see it against Matt Hardy. But of course, Ospreay has to contend with the forces of Ricochet and Zeta on the outside as well. I'm sure Alpha's gotten quite used to controlling both the World Championship and the Intercontinental Championship, and I don't think he will want to relinquish either of them anytime soon. A blistering start to this match, as you can imagine, for both of these men. Matt Hardy was a cruiserweight at a younger time in his career, so he should be sympathetic to what Ospreay is trying to do, although if you're with Alpha, I don't know if you feel anything anymore. Hardy now has Ospreay into the reverse DDT, and while Ospreay certainly enjoys the athletic advantage now as Hardy continues to age, Matt Hardy certainly enjoys the experience advantage. There you can see the chair slid in by Zeta, and this will be, I believe, the first of many potential interferences from the forces of Alpha. Lariat from Matt Hardy. Ospreay used the chair against him. Zeta was distracting the referee, and Ospreay used the chair against Matt Hardy. Will Ospreay. You know he means business. Oh my God, I love it from Will Ospreay. That's going to affect Hardy as he goes on, jumping DDT from Hardy. I love it from Will Ospreay. Zeta tossed in that chair, and Ospreay used it against Matt Hardy. Ospreay maybe looking to set up Os Cutter, and Matt Hardy able to get out of it. What a tremendous match we have seen so far. I mean, we're just a couple minutes in, and we've seen it all already. Ospreay into the chin lock, grinding down Hardy, and again, this is where you see Will Ospreay. He is not just the flippy athletic cruiserweight that he was at the beginning of his career, although he certainly remains maybe the most athletic man in GAW. Here is Zeta on the apron. Ospreay, you got to keep your hands in this one. You got to keep your head in this one, Will. Matt Hardy takes him down from behind. Ospreay, not only does he retain this incredible athleticism that he's always possessed, but he's added some incredible strength as well. And you can see it with that dragon suplex to Matt Hardy. Will Ospreay is as good as advertised. He has added weight. It has only made him better. He is as athletic as he's ever been. And now he adds the strength, and Ospreay, Os Cutter onto Matt Hardy. Zeta up on the apron. We knew this was coming. We knew what would happen. Zeta distracting the referee, and Ospreay has to abandon the cover. The referee was not even looking at that pin attempt. Ospreay now has to go up top. We know he has to do a lot. Ospreay 450 onto Matt Hardy. That is just a taste of the top rope theatrics that Ospreay can produce. Ospreay now hooks the far leg to unify the titles, and Matt Hardy kicks out. And Hardy going for the spinning kick. Ospreay able to jump over it, but Hardy gets him with a strike on the other end. This match has been all Will Ospreay so far. The aerial assassin has been tremendous throughout the duration of this. But Matt Hardy now, DDT. Certainly targeting the head and neck area of Will Ospreay, softening him up for the twist of fate. But the aerial assassin not gonna have it. Has Hardy up against the ropes and yanks him back, and again, just another showcase of this incredible strength. The muscle mass that Ospreay has put on in pursuit of this title. He's known that this is the opportunity that he wants for months now. He's known that this is what he wants as the future of cruiserweight wrestling in GAW. Hardy now, leg drop onto Ospreay. And another one onto the challenger. Ospreay has calculated every move, and he has backed it all up with incredible skill. He is wrestling at a level that we have never seen from him before. Hardy now has Ospreay into the side effect. Hardy caught him out of nowhere. Ospreay kicked out. Ospreay kicked out before one. You want to talk about focus. You want to talk about drive. Hardy going up top, elbow drop, and Ospreay out of the way. Ospreay maybe looking for Stormbreaker, but Hardy turns it into a back heel kick. Wow, I can't believe that. Matt Hardy has won matches using the side effect, and Ospreay kicked out before one. Hardy has him up into the face buster. You can hear the fans' displeasure with Matt Hardy. I think it's safe to say the fans are ready to see a change, both for the Intercontinental Championship as well as in the Cruiserweight division. I think the fans are ready. And Hardy now driving the head of Will Ospreay into the top turnbuckle. Hardy certainly brings the brutality, we know that, being teamed with Alpha, and another side effect onto Will Ospreay. Hardy doesn't even try for the pin after that. Hardy trying to lay in the stomps. Ospreay was there, lariat ducked by Matt Hardy. Again, Matt bringing the experience to bear. DDT onto Will Ospreay, and he's busted him open. Ospreay answers with a drop kick, and look who it is. Zeta on the ropes once again, and Ospreay is dropped from behind. We knew that would be a factor, no doubt about it. Hardy has Ospreay into the corner, goes for the lariat, Ospreay out of the way. Ospreay off the ropes, going for the thrust kick. Hardy gets out of it, side effect maybe. Ospreay gets the elbows in. Will now takes the back, German bridge, and Hardy kicks out. Zeta up onto the apron, trying to distract the referee, but meanwhile Ospreay setting up Matt Hardy. Ospreay going over the top, flip DDT. Ospreay, he may have just done it. He may have done it. Far leg hooked. Referee count. Referee, yes, yes, yes. Ospreay's done it. Will Ospreay has unified the Intercontinental and Cruiserweight Championships. Will Ospreay, he will go down as one of the greatest Cruiserweight champions of all time, and now he will go down as the last Cruiserweight champion of all time. We know how many men in this division wanted this to happen. We know how many men felt they were looked down upon because they fought in a different weight class. Will Ospreay has ended that. Will Ospreay has transformed the GAW Cruiserweight division. Will Ospreay has transformed GAW. That is the end of the GAW Cruiserweight division. And Ospreay, bloodied and battered, has done it. The aerial assassin Will Ospreay has done it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this part of Winterfest. Final part coming up next. It's the Christmas Party Finals. It's the Men's and Women's World Championships. Congratulations to Will Ospreay, who has unified the Cruiserweight and Intercontinental Championships.